The year 2022-23 is the first full year in India's journey towards becoming a net carbon zero economy by 2070. As announced by Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the COP26 Global Climate Conference last year, India plans to increase its dependency on green fuels and renewable energy sources and reduce its carbon emission. At COP26, India committed becoming a net zero carbon economy by 2070. Among key commitments were non-fossil fuel electricity generation capacity of 500 gigawatt by 2030, sourcing 50% energy requirement from renewable sources by 2030, a reduction of 1 billion tons in projected emissions by 2030, a 45% carbon intensity cut over 2005 levels by 2030, and Indian Railways becoming a net zero carbon emitter by 2030. Growth in India's renewable energy capacity in the past decade, specifically wind and solar power, has been significant. It increased from 39.55 gigawatt in 2014-15 to 92.5 gigawatt in 2020-21. The share of renewable energy in total installed capacity in the country grew from 14.3% to 24.53% during the same period. However, a manufacturing or financing ecosystem for green energy remains inadequate. India's solar sector primarily depends on imports, mainly from China, to meet its equipment demand. With a growing need for energy storage technologies, the import dependence is likely to increase further, with India lacking in gigawatt-scale battery storage manufacturing.
In the upcoming union budget, we are hopeful that the government will continue the targeted initiatives and policies to further strengthen the domestic solar manufacturing sector, aligned to Atmanirbhar Bharat vision. With India's growing importance in the international trade, global economics are looking at India to diversify their supply lines. Hence, it is important for domestic manufacturers to be incentivized. This will accelerate economic recovery, create jobs, attract investments, increase exports, reduce import dependence, and enable India's energy security.
On the green fuels front, the country is taking baby steps, with only a handful of private companies and state-owned oil companies announcing plans to manufacture green hydrogen, green methanol, etc. However, a robust supply chain is missing. This year's union budget could set the tone for adding climate sensitivity in policy design. The focus would be on the three key components of energy transition: green energy, energy storage, and energy conservation. Budgetary support is expected to come for sectors which are in their initial stages of development in the country, such as energy storage, green energy corridors, green fuels, among others. The renewable energy sector is expecting goals which could accelerate indigenous manufacturing, battery storage, and cheaper financing. Credit enhancement for energy conservation steps could be a key area. This could include promoting the ESCO or the Energy Service Company model, battery swapping, electric mobility in public transport. It is also expected the budget would lay emphasis on energy efficiency across industrial sectors in order to meet the target of reducing the country's carbon emissions intensity.
After India's transformational climate commitments in Glasgow last year, I would expect that Budget 2022 will signal that grow first and clean up later is no longer a viable growth plan. I want that the budget announces something like a climate credit enhancement fund to help renewable energy developers tap into the huge bond market opportunity. I'd expect a new bioenergy mission that allows India to tap into its huge opportunities in bioenergy. I would want that subsidies for clean cooking energy be reintroduced for the most vulnerable communities. That GST rates for efficient, super efficient ceiling fans are reduced so that the households that are getting connected to electricity now start using the most efficient appliances. I'd expect some amount of money put towards the National Hydrogen Energy Mission to trigger pilots in green ammonia, green steel, in experimenting with new kinds of membranes and alternatives for critical minerals. I want a national bus procurement plan so that we can start procuring electric buses for our cities and reduce the costs of public transportation. And I would expect that a climate risk resilience fund is created to create the insurance cushion against severe climate shocks. If we can do all of this, we'll start signaling a very different growth pathway.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.